So Sunday games for the Champions Cup. I got the Auckland Blues gear on today. I don't have any Cardiff Blues gear, but it's the next best thing for me. 4 games on the Sunday. Some interesting matchups for some different reasons, but I'll go through these. And as always, you guys can let me know your thoughts on the game at the end. So the first one is Gloucester against Castra. So Gloucester's got one of my kind of favourite coaches in Johan Ackerman. I've kind of been following him since he's left Super Rugby and kind of gone up north. Taken a few Lions players with him, which I guess is fair enough because he's got that background with them. There's a few guys out, like Trinder and Hansen are both out, but Jason Wood was back at 15 and Marshall's back on the wing. Cipriani, of course, is playing, and he's that magic man, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can kind of do in this game. For Castra, Jenica, Eberson, they both start. There's 8 changes from their last game in the top 14. Their record in the top 14 for the French champions is not that stellar this year so far. 4 wins and 3 losses. Gloucester, kind of similar, 3 wins, 2 losses and a draw. So you got to feel like kind of neither team really hitting their top straps as yet, but this is a chance for them to kind of get things going. Gloucester are really heavy favourites in this one. 14 points is what the bookies have got them winning by. So if they could win by that, that'd be a pretty happy day for old Johan, because that's a pretty comfortable margin. The next game, Lyon against Cardiff. The Blues. I probably have to cheer for the Blues, being an Auckland Blues man. There's that connection, but yeah, a few interesting selections in both of these teams. Obviously, Charlie Ngatai is one guy I'm pretty familiar with for Lyon. Played his rugby over here in New Zealand for some time. He's at 15. He's usually better in the midfield, but 15 is equally a comfortable spot for him. He's got a pretty educated boot. Felix Lombé, who came to New Zealand in June, is a guy I've kind of been keeping an eye on as well. Kind of young French lock. I'm hoping to see him have a good game as well. For Cardiff, 7 changes from their last game, so things are really being switched up. Anscombe is at fullback. Thomas Williams at 9 with Jared Evans at 10. Gill and Lewis will be propping up the scrum. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a competitive game. Lyon are 11-point favourites. I guess if you look at their records this year, again, Lyon 4 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Solid without being spectacular. Cardiff, the 3 wins and the 3 losses. I did watch their opening game of the season against Leinster, and yeah, I feel like they can still hit their straps a bit more, and hopefully this will be a week that we see that kind of happen. Not that I'm trying to be biased, but hey, blues man got to be a blues man. The next one, Toulon against Newcastle. Now this one's a battle of 2 teams who are not having a great start to the season. Toulon's record so far, 2 wins and 5 losses in the top 14. In the Premiership, Newcastle just the 1 win and 5 losses, so things not going that great. I've seen a bit of more of their games than Toulon's this season so far, and I feel like Newcastle, again, aren't that far away. But yeah, something's not quite going for them thus far. For Toulon, I mean, it's a pretty impressive looking front row, and you can go look at guys like Jurado and Van der Merwe. Trenduk's at 10. Xavier is on the wing, so I'm curious to see how he's going. I'm not sure if he's scored a try as yet for Toulon, but I guess we'll see. This should be his first European game. There's no Bastero because he's serving a ban, and yeah, not going well. For Newcastle, you've got Tom Ascott on the left wing. I'm curious to see if he has any long-range shots at goal, because I have seen him take at least 1 or 2 pops so far in the Premiership this season. Kyle Cooper's one of my favourite old South African players, so I'm keen to see how he has a go as well. The bookies, interestingly, 17-point favourites for Toulon. From what I understand, this is Newcastle's first appearance in the Champions Cup, so that's going to be a special occasion for them. 17-point underdogs. If you're going to start in the comp, why not do it with a big upset win? I'm sure that would be most welcome for Newcastle fans. I'm sure Toulon fans would like to see Julian Xavier bust something up and get on the board. The last one is kind of the opposite of the previous one in terms of both teams in pretty fine form, with Glasgow Warriors up against Saracens. Again, Dave Rennie's kind of another one of my favourite coaches, so we've got a couple of my favourites anyway in terms of coaching stuff, with their teams in action this week. For Glasgow, who are 5 wins and just the 1 loss, sitting pretty well in the Pro 14. DTH van der Merwe's on the left wing. Jackson's at fullback because obviously there's no Stuart Hogg because he's injured. Adam Hastings is preferred over Peter Horn, who's on the bench in the number 10 jersey. For Saracens, I mean, you got Vincent Koch back from the Springboks. He's definitely going to be a welcome addition back. Sean Maitland, who's a former Warrior. He's going to be back playing his former team from the wing. Brad Barrick's back in the midfield. Tojo's back, so there's a lot of big names in that Saracens team. They are favourites for this one by 9 points. That looks like a really interesting clash because Saracens are 6 wins on the trot. Them and Exeter are looking pretty sweet in the Premiership. So it's a battle of 2 teams, like I said, on very good runs in that final game. So yeah, some interesting matchups just because all these teams fairly similar records in their domestic competitions. How they go in Europe, though, is always the next question to see where they are really at. But yeah, as I've said in previous videos, first time covering the European Champions Cup for me, so still very new, still kind of getting to grips with some of the things. So if you guys have got any inside words on some of the players I should look out for, anything in particular you think I should be mindful of, let me know. I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. I'll watch as much as I can. Some of these games are on at the same time, so I won't be able to see everything in full, but we'll see how we go. You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.